Adam, let's quickly look back on Tuesday night, just because we have to, I think. Last year you told us after the defeat there that you didn't sleep when you got home, you re-watched the game with your backroom staff. I'm not suggesting you maybe didn't sleep on Tuesday night when you got back, but how many times has the team that you said you got the wrong selection ahead of that game, how many times has that gone through your mind between then and now?
No, yeah, it's quite similar. Didn't really sleep particularly well. You keep rerunning the game, and after every game you look at what you could have done differently, and where the game was won and lost, and you keep rerunning that, and something that, like I said, I get very high when we win and get very low when we lose, and that's the case. But yeah, after watching the game back and hindsight being a wonderful thing, definitely feel there was changes I could have made to the starting 11, and but with that all said and done, I thought it was quite an even game, and that can happen at this level, and it's something that when we keep coming to have these conversations and keep coming to press conferences, it's something that I'm very conscious about and can happen, and say that we've got to take one game at a time, and I say that about every level, every opponent that we face at this level, because it's a tough league, and you can have it was, in my opinion, just a bit of a mad 20 minutes and you're 3-0 down and out of a game, and that's how quickly it can happen.
So without throwing any of the players who did play under the bus, are you able to give us a couple of names or a couple of things that you think you wish you had done now?
No, I don't think so. I think just like in terms of like the attacking players, maybe going with so many attacking players, maybe we should have been a bit more solid in the centre of the park. Ollie Pearce has been scoring a lot of goals and he's playing a bit deeper. In hindsight, that was a bad decision. Should have kept him at the top end of the pitch. But like I say, it's not to blame anyone. Maybe a bit of knowledge and know-how and a bit of nous when you go away from home in this league is needed. But I think the game could have been completely different as well. I thought we started the game well, had a good first 10 minutes, and you probably need to score in that, and it's a completely different game. If David gets a penalty and you go in at 3-1 and get a goal, that can lead to a bit of momentum, and again it can be a completely different game. So and I think that second half they obviously sat back and we tried to take the game to them, tried all we could to score a goal, and it just didn't quite come. The keeper made a couple of great saves, and maybe the second one is it that hits the post, doesn't fall straight to one of their players and just goes past the post, and you get a goal kick. But I'm never one to. I think that sort of stuff evens itself out. What can we control? We can definitely be better on the ball. The patterns that we showed, and there was some glaringly obvious patterns that we could have worked better. So that's the stuff that we've sort of delved into this week and tried to improve on.
You've generally played 4-2-3-1 this season, which is exactly how Altrincham play. For a simpleton like me, that would suggest, I think, if you put a 4-2-3-1 up against a 4-2-3-1, the better team should come out on top. Was that ever in your thinking?
Not really. We tried to obviously change our shape, sort of play out with a certain shape, and then when we get a bit more further up the pitch, then we change our shape a little bit. It was interesting watching the Man United game and Robbie Savage getting so pleased with that little bit of detail that the manager made, because I think it was quite similar to how we tried to do it. Obviously not quite to the same standard at times as Manchester United, but we try to have a shape when we move a bit further up the pitch, and it seems to work for us. But that's a different shape to a 4-2-3-1. So I think our shape is quite flexible. There's little details that we can improve on within that. But in the main, we try to play a different shape to what the opposition plays, certainly in possession.
Let's look ahead then to a game that I think will be completely different against a Maidenhead side. They're possibly slightly more direct than Altrincham are, very hard working. You expect another tough battle here on Saturday? Yeah,
like you said, it'll be a different challenge, but they've come full of confidence, won their last game, and that's the thing in this league. You've got to be ready for each challenge that comes your way. They are a bit more direct, get the ball forward and play in the opponent's half and have a long throw and put set pieces right on you, and you've got to be able to cope with that. But like I've said time and time before, there's no right or wrong way of playing this game. That's how they do it, and they believe in that way. We play a different way and believe in a different style, but ultimately there's no right or wrong way. We try to play how we play to get results, and yeah, like I say, it doesn't always work, and can, where we try to be expansive, leave us slightly open, so you can have score lines like the other night, but we're, self included, all trying to learn and improve, and hoping we can do that.
You're coming up against a manager in Alan Devonshire who's clearly been there, seen it, done it at all levels of football, as a first player and then as a manager. Do you enjoy pitting your wits against managers who have so much more experience than you do?
It's not, if I'm being honest, not something I think about too much. Ultimately, we can have our styles and how we want to play, but it's about the players on the pitch and how they perform, and we'll set up our players to play a certain way, and he will his style as well. So yeah, not something I think about too much. Just focus on our team and what we can improve on, really.
Unusually the other night as well, you only made 3 of your 5 permitted substitutes. Is everyone fit and available for this weekend? Yeah,
everyone's fit and available, and a couple of the lads like Ty and Marv would think they're not injured and can start every minute, but they have been nursing injuries. So, like I said to them, you're trying to get a squad of players through a 46-game season with some cup games as well. So, we've got to take that into account as well. Obviously, Ajiboye has come to us and played a lot of minutes as well. So it's a lot of factors in there that you've got to take into account. But yeah, everyone will be fit and available and ready to go.
And I suppose you've now got some big decisions to make this weekend.
Yeah, I have. I think when you're winning and you make those decisions, it's a lot easier to have the conversation with the players. When you've lost the game, everyone then feels it's going to be their opportunity to play. So. Yes, it's difficult. We've got a good squad. We've probably got 20 outfield players that all feel they can start and contribute, and you can only select 10. So, there's another 10 players that are going to be disappointed. So, yeah, it's hard, but you go with what you see in training and how they've been performing in recent matches, and try to pick the right team that can win you the game.
I know we seem to ask the same question every week, but can you give us an update on Linnell John Lewis and Darragh O'Connor?
Yeah, so Len's back running with his boots on and showing really good progress, which is good. But like as a manager, I think if you used to go back 10 years and you see someone running like Len is, you'd want them back available for the next week. But obviously, we are relying a little bit more on the research, and he's got to work through a protocol. He's running well, but still a lot of hurdles for him to come through before he's available for selection. But
does he understand how things have changed then from the start of his career to what is potentially the back end of his career?
Yeah, I was having that conversation with him the other day, and he would have said, like, 10 years ago, if I was running like this, I'd say I'm available and ready to play. But again, it's about Len coming back and staying back, not coming back for one game and then being back in the treatment room. So yeah, we've got to make sure he gets through all the right protocol, and probably still 4 weeks off, even though he's running so well.
And Darragh?
Darragh's he had a little spell outside, had a bit of a reaction, and now he's just building back up through it again. So still probably similar to Len, probably another 4 weeks. But yeah, it's great to see them back out on the grass, getting their boots on, and as a player, when I know only too well what it's like to be injured, and when you do get your boots on and you can get out on the grass, it does make you feel a bit more like a footballer again. So I'm sure for their mental state it'd do them a world of good.
Actually, about Thierry, is he allowed to play tomorrow?
Thierry's allowed to play, no.
will you be checking up? Will you be talking to him tomorrow at any point, or because he's on loan at Maidenhead, do you sort of like try and leave that alone as it is? He's still a York City player.
No, that's it. Yeah, try to leave it alone. I'll probably have a good chat with him after, and obviously speak in depth with their management staff and coaching staff on how he's doing, and how they've found him as a character and that as well. But we'll have a good chat after the game. But I won't speak too much before.
Can I ask you about the game on Wednesday, the North Riding Senior Cup game? I know you weren't there, so it's hard for you to comment. But when you see that result, they missed so many chances. How disappointed were you for that team that they didn't get the chance to maybe go again and at least have one more fixture in that competition?
No, it would have been nice, and there was the potential for one or two, pros to be out there playing with them as well. But just wanted to keep the group together after the defeat on Tuesday, and train together on the Wednesday. I think was important, and and a great opportunity for the youngsters to play and get minutes against men opposition. It didn't quite fall for them. I know the Tibbs made it hard. Got a lot of players behind the ball. I had a good chat with Tim about the game today. He said one or two did okay, and he said it was a bit of a frustrating night, but hopefully those younger players will learn a lot from it. Does
it show though how far they've got to go, how big the jump is from youth team level to first team level, especially in a successful first team as York City are so far? Yeah, that's it. That's the barrier that we're trying to get over. Obviously, from the under 19 league to playing National League is quite a jump, and we need to try and bridge that. I think we've even found it with Billy and Leon coming into the group this year, and them going out on loan and getting minutes has done them really good. So if we can get a few more youngsters in training with the first team group in and around the Christmas period, and have a good end of the season, a good bulk of training with the first team group, I think will really help. Great, thank you.
Hi Adam.
Hiya.
So obviously the defeat in midweek, do you almost feel like sometimes you can learn more from a defeat than you would a win?
Yeah, you do, but I don't want us to lose for us to learn. I want us to keep on learning. When we're winning games, we can still learn as well. It can happen in this league. I'm always the first one to say that I hate the comment that you can't win every game, because you can win every game. The likelihood of you winning every game is not, the probability of it is not very high, but you can actually win every game. So, but you do learn more, rightly or wrongly. I watch the defeats back and study them a lot more than maybe a win. I know that shouldn't be the case, but I think it's just human nature to do that maybe. And I think like in reflection of the game, there wasn't too much in it really. I mean, chances-wise, I thought we had too many shots. I hate us shooting outside the box when we're off balance, and we had too many of them. Just like the team to take an extra pass and work the ball into a better area, and that's one thing we can definitely learn from the game. The first two goals have come from like clip balls gone forward, and then it's ended up in the back of our net. So, we can definitely make some contact with the opponents when the ball does go forward like that. I think it was the first one. There's a big gap in between our defence if you watch it back. So it's about when it does go forward, can we be a bit more together and defend together. Definitely we can be more aggressive in individual duels and defend a bit better together when the ball goes forward.
I thought on Tuesday night it was probably the best we've seen of David Ajiboye so far as well. What did you think of his performance? Yeah,
I thought he got the ball into the final third really well, but then it's in that end bit. It's all very well beating a player. If there's no end product to come with it, then it doesn't mean too much. So that's the next bit for David. He's got to end his runs with something and picking out a player. I think inside the first 10 minutes he's got the ball maybe even 6 yards out, and we haven't picked out a pink shirt on the night, and that's the bit that's missing. And he's the first bit is done so well. He can ghost past players like they're not there, but then to really make an impact, he needs to find that last little bit. But worked hard to try and get David here when I see he wasn't playing much, and really believe in him as a player.
Can I just ask about Dan Batty, and obviously hasn't started in the last 2 matches. What sort of do you need from him to get back into the starting 11?
Not too much more. I think with Dan as well, always like to monitor his load, and sometimes you've got to take that out of his hands. I know if you still ask Dan, he said, "No, I'm fit for every minute," and I know they all would, but he's one of them that we've got to manage over a 46-game season and try and get him out there and fit and ready to go for as many of them as we can. And in the last 2 games, we've sort of changed shape a little bit and gone with one holding midfield player, and then Joe Felix has rolled in from right back to make up the second holding midfielder. So it's something we've looked at, and so I like Joe when he does do that job for us. And then that only leaves one holding midfield player, and Bats and Hunty, we've got 2 players that do that job really well. So slight tweak to the formation and managing his load really. But he's an unbelievable player. I think start of the season he was in team of the week most week. So he's got to get back to that form, and I'm sure he'll get there.
And looking at tomorrow's match, do you think it makes a difference with Maidenhead being a part-time outfit? Is there much of a difference between a full-time and a part-time outfit when it comes to matches?
No, the only thing I really notice is when you have the game in the midweek. So obviously you play Tuesday, and then Thursday is like second day recovery for some, so you can't do loads and loads of work. But there's not too much difference really now. I think it's more for that Tuesday game when you play Saturday-Tuesday, because you finish playing on the Saturday and then you don't have a chance to analyse the Saturday game, and then you're seeing the players again for the Tuesday. So they will be able to analyse their game from midweek, because they'll have another session before the Saturday. But other than that, you just got to manage the load and come up with different ways, which I'm sure they've been doing it for a long time and been at this level for a long time now. So I'm sure they have their ways of doing it.
And it's a chance for yourself as well to improve that home form, which I think is 1 defeat all season there so far, so you must be pleased with that. Yeah,
really pleased. Something that I think is going to be massive for us if we want to stay in the positions we're in. It's so important to have good home form, and really pleased with how it's been so far, particularly of late. I think we've showed some good form at home, and we want to definitely try and maintain that.
And last from me, I just want to ask you about Malachi Fagan-Walcott. A report came out in midweek that a fee had been agreed between York and Cardiff. What's sort of the process with that, and is it any closer to happening?
Yeah, I think we are in talks. I think we are keen for Malachi to be a York player permanently. I think it'll be a really big signing for us. He's 22 years old and got so much ability, and it's just a case of trying to agree a fee with Cardiff and see if that's possible to do. So those sort of talks are happening. Obviously, the finer details not been agreed yet, but I believe the talks are going relatively well.
Just as well, whenever you sign a player on loan, is there always that in the back of your mind about potentially getting him on permanent? Because obviously David Adjuboy as well, out of favour at Peterborough. Is there anything ever in the back of your mind when you bring him out on loan for a potential long-term future?
Always like to think that there's potential of signing players, and we're not just doing another team a favour by playing their players. Always in the back of my mind is that potential of signing the player permanently.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi Adam.
Hiya.
Just going back to Altrincham the other night briefly,
Yep.
It's been one of the most difficult places for York to go over the last few seasons. Do you think that has the danger of affecting players mentally, particularly when things start to go wrong in a game?
I'm not too sure. I don't think so. I think, we just had a little bit of a bad spell. We didn't deal with situations well. They worked the ball brilliantly for the first 2 goals, and we've got to pay credit to them for that. And then the third goal was a bit of a gift, which probably kills us off a little bit. But I don't think it's a case of anything that the players are thinking about too much. Just a case of how it sort of panned out on the night. And like I say, it can happen. There's not much between all of the teams, I don't think, in this league, and it's a tough league. I do think that between the bottom and the top, these results can happen. And let's get it straight. Altrincham are a good side. They've got some great players. They've been at this level for a while. They're always in and around the playoffs. And yeah, it can happen, but I don't think it's anything that the players are thinking about too much.
Any injury concerns after the game on Tuesday?
No, I don't think so. Clean bill of health. The only one was Malachi got a bit of a whack on the top of his foot, but he's trained today and felt okay, so he's the only one that had a slight doubt, but yeah, I'm sure he'll be okay.
Just turning to Maidenhead then, at the weekend, great opportunity to bounce back with a good home support behind you as well, back at the LNER.
Yeah, that home support, so disappointed. I wanted to go and see a nice happy away following, and it wasn't the case. And I've still got pictures of all the fans' faces in my head, and even my family are there, and the disappointment on their face being there. And yeah, we want to turn it into a positive one come 5 o'clock tomorrow. I'm sure the fans will be out in full force and getting behind us, and they've been so good all season. Over 700 again on Tuesday night is phenomenal, and we do really appreciate it. And yeah, we're so keen to work hard to make sure they go happy.
Any news on the horizon in terms of increasing options with players coming in?
No, not at this sort of stage. If something does come available, then we'll look at it. But happy with where we are at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Arsenal, please.
Go on, mate.
How would you rally the group up after a 3-0 loss for a team, especially that's so used to winning week in, week out? How would you keep the morale high in training?
No, I don't sort of change too much just because we've had a defeat. Obviously, we spend time analysing our games even when we've won. So yeah, just focus on the same sort of process really, and yeah, just try to install some belief that they're still a good team and these results can happen. And I think the thing is, I think we've got a real talented bunch of players, and the thing is, like, mentally we've got to stay sharp and stay switched on throughout games, and that's the message. That can happen if we're not switched on mentally, really.
In terms of the teams around you, above and below, Maidenhead have picked up 4 points from a possible 9. Do results like that factor into your approach on Saturday, or?
Not really. I don't really look at the opponent's form, really. Just focus mainly on ourselves and what we can control, and the little bits from the last game that we can improve on going into this game. Like I say, it'd be a different challenge altogether from Altrincham. They play a different style, and we've got to be ready for that. And so yeah, don't look at the form too much, because we're all looking to start our own run and start a new better form. So yeah, just focus on what we can control really.